Hey everybody, it's Darrell with the Back 40 broadcast, always here at 10:30 Wednesday mornings to give you a nugget or nudge to support you in creating your second half of life as your best half. If you're joining us for the first time live, thanks for being here. And if you're seeing this on the replay, that's cool too. Make sure wherever you are that you grab your top 10 tips for a radical second half below. And if you are seeing this on the replay, be sure to look at the full blog, because I talk about some things here and share some ideas here, but I really go into a lot of depth in the full blog below, where this video is going to be posted on back40flyers.com. So again, welcome. And I want to talk today, and again, you know, our philosophy in the Back 40 is you have yet to do what you came here to do. And like Frank Sinatra sings, the best is yet to come. And babe, won't it be fine? So what we look to offer you every week is just some mindset shifts, some different ways to think as we move into our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, so that we really stand in the possibility that anything is still yet possible. That, you know, everything that has come before maybe is just R&D, research and development for what we really came here to do. Now, that may sound easy, but a lot of times as people move later in life, there's this idea that fixed ideas of who they are and what's possible. And we say that's BS. That's a belief system. And we want to bust that belief system by creating new ways of thinking so that we actually have the possibility to really do something beyond what we've done. And you know, a lot of people who are part of our movement and subscribe to this have done amazing things. And yet, if you're going to go beyond that, and if your bigger game is yet to be played, then there's new ways to think other than what society kind of trains us to think as we, you know, move into our later years. We say it's up and out, not down and out. So here's the topic for today: it's really about breathing. Just something simple as breathing. And I've got 3 deep breaths for you to consider taking in the face of disorder. And this comes up because, you know, there's always seemingly disorder going on in the world. And then there's always seemingly disorder going on in our life. Maybe not always, but things do happen. You know, career change, relationship shifts, financial sideswipes. You know, there can be lots of stuff that happens, especially as we move into that second half. You know, there's a lot of changes that tend to happen. Sometimes people call that midlife crisis. Here in the Back 40, we call it midlife opportunity. And yet, certain things can be going on personally or globally that has us kind of waiting to exhale. And, you know, that was a cool movie. And at the same time, in our own life, sometimes it's like, you know, waiting for the next shoe to drop or waiting to exhale. And so it's a metaphor, but it's also something really, really practical to really think about breathing and, you know, what it takes to go through disorder, to breathe in the face of disorder, to breathe into the disorder. So that, you know, the topic of my blog today was breathing disorder, because if we're all waiting to exhale and there's so much tension and so much riding on things, we're not going to be operating at our best. And so there's a few quotes that I actually wanted to share with you that were part of the actual blog, but I thought were pretty relevant about this whole idea. One, Byron Nelson, the golf god, said one way to break up any kind of tension is good deep breathing. Thich Nhat Hanh, and I think this is kind of relevant for a lot of things that are going on today, says smiling is very important. If we're not able to smile, then the world will not have peace. It is not by going out for a demonstration against nuclear missiles that we can bring peace. It is with our capacity of smiling, breathing, and being peace that we can make peace. Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz, says, whenever I feel blue, I start breathing again. Eve Ensler, Vagina Monologue, says, I wake up every day and I think I'm breathing. It's a good day. Maya Angelou said, I'm convinced of this. Good done anywhere is good done everywhere. For a change, start by speaking to people rather than walking by them like they're stones and like they don't matter. As long as you're breathing, it's never too late to do some good. And I love this one by Irma Bombeck, comedian. The only reason I would take up jogging is so that I could hear heavy breathing again. Kind of funny. But here's the point, is that, if we have yet to do what we came here to do. Look, there's a standard way of going into 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and that's kind of like riding and coasting. You know what? God bless. God bless for those who have accomplished everything that they think they came here to do. And the rest of it is about, retirement and taking it easy. I'm of the opinion and inspired by the idea that there's been a lot of amazing things created by people in their second half, like late into their second half. And in other blog posts and in our programs, we talk about, someone who started something at 76 and that's how they got known. Someone in our community right now is 86 years old and she was the first woman on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and she just wrote a book to teach young women how to get out there. So the point being is, this is not any have to. And if it's inspiring that you have yet to do what you came here to do, and your big game is yet ahead, then there's learning, there's growing, there's taking on new challenges, and there's still pursuing that you came here to be and that you came here to do. And therefore, sometimes it can get tense or intense whenever you're really still striving for something to fulfill. And here's just a few ideas of 3 deep breaths to take when you're gonna create disorder. When you get outside the comfort zone and you go for creating something in your second half, your playful, passionate, purposeful second half, getting outside of the comfort zone creates disorder. So how are you going to be in the face of that disorder? Well, first, here's the first deep breath, is breathe. And this also goes for, those what are called midlife crisis. Again, we call them midlife opportunity because we feel that there's always the greater you coming out the other side. It just looks kind of maybe scary at the moment. But the point being is, we've all heard it before, you got to put your own oxygen mask on first. So when things are tense and when things, the proverbial cockeye is hitting the fan, even when it doesn't seem logically like the time to do that, you got to be getting enough rest. You got to be eating well. You got to be getting the mental relaxation that allows new ideas and new perspectives to come in. There's this great phrase I've heard called, when things get really challenged, HALT, H-A-L-T. And it stands for never get too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So you got to make sure that when things are really hitting the fan, deep breath, breathe, put your own oxygen mask on first. Second, deep breath, breathe. In many cultures, ours here in, the US, we say things will always look different in the morning. My partner, Alexandra, says that there is an exact similar phrase in Russian, that things do look different in the morning. And so even when it seems critical and it seems most illogical to step away, very often the stepping away, taking a breather from the intensity of the subject at hand, actually gives you that space. It gives you the space for new perspectives. You know, actually thinking to not think. What can you do to not think about this issue, you know, for the moment? So that's a second deep breath to take. And then the third deep breath, realize that you're breathing. You know, to really, you know, get basic. A lot of times it takes some outside or unexpected things to wake up people. You know, it could be a heart attack, it can be, you know, your loved one telling you that they're out of here. You know, it could be that job or career or whatever it is that you've been so used to and kind of treated, and maybe you didn't take it for granted, but you just treated like it'd always be around. So sometimes it's those things that, you know, wake us up. And after these first two deep breaths that I just mentioned, putting your oxygen mask on first and really stepping away rather than going into the intensity, then it's just taking a moment to realize you're breathing. You know what? There's food in the fridge. There's people who love you. Even in the midst of whatever's going on, there's opportunities for you to contribute. And so to actually realize and get appreciative of the value of life, like right here, right now, you know, and we say that you have yet to do what you came here to do. So even though this may suck, frankly, right now, what if this is exactly what's needed to happen to have you become who you came here to be and do what you came here to do? So 3 deep breaths to address disorder. And hopefully you're going to have a lot of disorder, because disorder means you're shaking things up, that you're really going outside the norm of comfort zone and keeping everything same old, because there's some kind of contribution. There's something, you know, specific that you came here to be and came here to do. And we hope these ideas on a weekly basis support you in the fulfillment of that. Make sure you check out all of our blogs on back40flyers.com. Go to our website, the Back 40, F-O-R-T-Y, see what we're doing. Make sure you grab your top 10 tips for a radical second half below, and have a radical week.